Hey guys, welcome back to the Low Voltage Garage. A big part of our industry is what tools we use. So today, we're going to take a toolbox tour. One of the first things you may have noticed is even though we're here at the Low Voltage Garage, I'm Ben from Avalon Emergency Equipment. I'm a subcontractor here at the shop. Not only do I assist with building squad cars, installing products, troubleshooting, but also I run my own online e-commerce website selling the very same products. Go ahead and check us out. I am also here at the Low Voltage Garage putting together our social media plan. Videos such as this, Facebook, and other areas on the internet. When we're talking about what's in the toolbox, what do we use on a daily basis, there are a few things that we need to touch on first. Of course, what toolbox am I using? And how do I handle it in the shop? This is a vintage Craftsman toolbox, 2-drawer with wide open top from the mid-90s. I've had it for a while and it's been serving me well. The toolbox is on top of a simple wood panel that I use as a small workbench, and it's actually quite useful being as small as it is. Then underneath that, this is all set on top of a generic $60 tray you can get at Harbor Freight or Fleet Farm, any of your big box stores. It may not be a lot, but it is perfectly simple and effective for what I need it to do. So very many times, the simplest ideas work the best. My trusty Craftsman toolbox has been with me for a while. 2 drawers full of tools. Even though, yes, I do have labels on them, I always know what's in those 2 drawers. They haven't changed. One of the things you might notice is that the drawers do fully extend. You can get to everything. One's for more of the screwdrivers and prying tools. And the second drawer down below, even though it's full of tools, uses the entire space fully, I've got a few layers. The things that I grabbed the first are going to be right on top that I can get to and put away. My second tier tools are underneath that, and I just don't get to those as much. My top compartment is loaded full of tools. Say it's about 4.5 inches tall, which is plenty for my large boxes, some small kit components. Oh yeah, and on top, I've got kids. I always keep little Batman with me. Now, of course, I mentioned the work surface. It's not crazy big, but it is enough just to use to put something small down, work on it, and let's see just how big that is. My work area here is about 12 inches by about 19 inches. And honestly, that's big enough to put some small items together, to work on small wiring tasks. It's actually pretty effective. Over on the side, I've got a kit that I put together of certain commonly used items. Some sockets, socket drivers, adapters. The thing I found with most cars nowadays, and especially most of the squad cars that we work with, a few specific sockets in certain lengths, certain depth sockets, along with their driver adapters, are the tools that I go through the most. I can grab a drill from the bottom, put the adapter on it, put the socket, driver, anything that I might need really quick. I don't have to carry around an entire 300-piece tool set to do what I need to do every day. And this makes fast access so I can quickly grab and go and not have to rifle through all of the different types of bits that I might have. I guess the last bit's up here at the top. I do have a sketch pad. I can keep my phone, a few note-taking items there, heat gun for doing a lot of shrink tube work up in the front of the car, and then underneath there's a fairly deep pocket that I can store miscellaneous items that I don't get to very often at all, or like I keep for long-term storage. Of course, garbage receptacle on the side. Metal toolbox so I can hang magnetic things. Clip on other things as well if I'm here at the shop. Got my rolly chair, no worries. The bottom two sections are shelves that I can keep a lot of miscellaneous things in and at the ready. I've got a power cord set up to a multi-gang power port over on the side. Part of that is illumination, so lighting that I can actually see where I can get my connectors and whatnot. Many times I'll roll up to the front of a squad car and I'll be making up connections. So I'll need wire casing strippers, I'll need my crimp tool, along with my connectors, tape, some miscellaneous items that are here. Many times I will sit on my rolly stool in front of a car, and this is a very handy place to have things. Otherwise, during the day, if I do need connectors or these tools, they're right handy and illuminated, easy to see. Tissue, because we're here in Wisconsin and, well, winter is coming. It's going to get cold. I keep in the backs, I keep in the back some small boxes, a small fan in case in the summertime it gets amazingly hot, and then some other small wiring bits. The bottom shelf not only has my impact driver and screw gun hanging on the front, charger for that, a soft blow mallet, my drill and screw gun bag for when I take those items out on the road, and a good old-fashioned soldering iron. Even though most of our connections are made up with crimp connectors, we still might need to solder some things. And a trouble light to light up the inside of a car. Alright, so let's go through each of the compartments. This is the contents of the large open compartment on the top, that 4 inches deep. On the left hand side, I'll keep a kit with my heavier ratchet, a few select sockets. Just behind that, I'll keep my partial kit. This usually sits on that main area in front of the toolbox when I'm at the shop. However, if I go on the road, it's a quick snap closure, and that'll sit vertical in that main compartment on the top. Behind that, I'll have a kit from my 1/4 inch ratchet set. Of course, the case is long gone. It's pretty old. I took a plano kit and it seems to work. Behind that, I always keep some spare drill bits, a number of different drill bits for common applications, just in case there isn't one at our shop or if we're on the road. I do have metric deep well sockets and a selection of torque sockets as well. A few extras that I've found to need along the way, 13/16 and a 22 millimeter. I didn't want to buy the full kit, so these will be in addition to the kits I already have. Over on the right hand side, I usually keep things stacked on top of each other. On top I'll have my Fluke multimeter, not only for voltage but also checking amperage, both AC and DC current. I put together a small set of hole saws that are commonly used in our industry, from 3/4 all the way up to 1 7/8. Of course, gloves, you can see they're pretty new, haven't used these much at all. If I'm on the road, it's handy to have a small Ziploc bag full of odds and ends, nuts and bolts. Although that's mostly a backup, whenever we're on the road doing a maintenance project, we take a full kit that'll go and span the wide variety of brand new fasteners if we know that we'll need them. But sometimes you just get in a bind and need to have one or two. The little bag helps. My little big black book of knowledge. No, sorry, none of you will be able to see what's inside of here. I'll just keep that for me. Of course, very important is safety glasses, and pretty much the most used tool that I use out of that top compartment, EMS shears. Medical shears, they'll cut almost anything, and since I cut a lot of shrink tubing cutting shears are phenomenal. Okay, so here's the contents of the top of the two drawers. So the top drawer is labeled screwdrivers, and you guessed it, screwdrivers. Pretty much what had gone on is when I was first getting into the industry, my dad, who was a heavy truck mechanic for quite a long time, said, you know, Craftsman tools are pretty darn good, and I've been using them for the past 20 years. I got a set, pretty basic set. I believe there was 17 or 18 different items in the set. Came with little Z tools, small flat blades, large flat blades, and of course the Phillips head, a convenient 1/4 inch nut driver with extension, and then I just added on from there, or replaced what happened to be broken. Honestly, the only thing that broke out of that set so far is my normal number 2 Phillips head screwdriver. I've added a few Torx bits. I found that a Torx T10, 15, and 20, along with the 25, are the 4 most common that I use. Always have Sharpies. I needed a few smaller, more intricate screwdrivers, got those in here too. And then just because they didn't come in my other kits, or I needed some place to store them, I have my 3/8 extension. This is also a handy flex bit for 1/4 inch drivers, and a straight bit as well. This will all fit in that top drawer with plenty of room to spare. So if I happen to have another tool or two, I can put it in here. In both of these drawers, I honestly wasn't going to pay the enormous amount for the specific tool drawer liner, but you know what? You go to Walmart and you pick up some of this cutlery drawer liner. Helps keep things stable, and they shouldn't slide around as much. So now we're moving on to the second drawer. The second drawer is pretty much hand tools, and also tools on the lower layer of it that I don't get to too often. There's a few things that really help speed my production throughout the day, not only keeping an organized toolbox, but also keeping the tools that I use most of the time very, very handy. So as I go through the day, I'll need my side cutting pliers. I might need a few other small pliers, but then I'll get to a set of common wrenches. 7/16, a half, and a 9/16. Those are all handy right in the front of the drawer. Of course, a box knife, and then I'll be able to open the drawer to get to other things. Alright, so this is it for hand tools. It's pretty simple, self-explanatory. I'll let you peruse over this for a little bit. We've got everything from simple pliers, a few wrenches, adjustable wrenches, both large and small. That way I don't have to carry every single wrench that's made to man. Most of the time, these common wrenches plus a small adjustable will be just fine. Okay guys, there it is. That's my toolbox and tool cart overview. I hope you enjoyed. And really one of the best things that I've done is to make this system portable. That way I can use it here in the shop, I can move it wherever I need, and if we have to take it on the road, all I have to do is grab and go. The entire toolbox with contents only weighs about 40 pounds. I've been using it for quite a while. It served me good. I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you on the next one.